Dear viewers, welcome to another video in the series of Google Sheets tutorials. In this video, we are going to understand one of the graphical representations in Google Sheets tutorial, which is radar chart. How to use radar chart, under what circumstances we'll use radar chart. Let's understand this in this video. As I was explaining in the introduction, here I have taken one data, and the data is what is the score, feedback score that we received from participants for our training program, and the parameters on which we received this is we have received this score on parameters like training communication, course material, training room infrastructure, case studies used in the training, trainer knowledge on the subject, and training coordination. Now, if I want to draw a chart for this, I click on insert, and then if I click on chart, I get a bar graph. Is bar graph a right one to represent this data? Actually, bar graph is a comparison chart between attribute values. So here each of this, if I'm comparing training room coordination with case studies or course material, I can use this. But for me, a good training program is where in all these parameters I have to score 5 out of 5. Then only it's a good training program. Then this chart may not be the right chart in which I can represent the data that I am looking for. So what I do, I click on edit chart. So my chart editor panel will open up. So here instead of column chart, I can use the drop down and I can select the radar chart. Now what is the purpose of a radar chart? So here I have the radar chart. So when I select radar chart, I get this particular graphical representation. For making it easy, I am making it slightly bigger so that it becomes easy for us to understand. Now how do we need to interpret this radar chart? If you see this radar chart, we are getting a blue color line, and this blue color line is nothing but in each of the parameters how much we are scoring. So the blue color line getting all the way extended up to the 5 out of 5, this outer circle circumference, that means on that area I am doing a better job, right? On the other area I am not doing a better job. That is the understanding. So where this blue color line is much more inside, there I am not doing a better job. For example, trainer knowledge. If you see trainer knowledge, I am scoring 3.9, so the circle goes inside. Whereas if you see on training communication, right? Training communication, I am doing a better job, so the circle will be outside. Right? Training coordination, maybe I'm doing a better job. Training room infra, I'm not doing a better job, 3.7, so it is inside. So that's how this chart need to be interpreted. And now what are the other changes that we can do this? So if you click on the setup part of the chart, it will say which data you want to pick up, and it also says the first row is header and use column A as label. So if I remove this use column A as label, the column A values are identified as label, but if I remove it, then it will not show up. Similarly, if I remove this, then the title will not be shown, or the title will also be considered as one of the parameters. So I'm going to use column A as label, so that's why I get all this information here. Now if I move on to customize, I can change the chart style. So what should be the background of my chart? If I don't want the white color to be as background, I can give black, and then I can give the font colors in different color. Right, so this is the font and this is the border color. So here I go back to white only so that it becomes pleasing to the eyes. It's not that difficult to read. And you want a smooth kind of a graph, or you want a maximized graph. So if you put maximize, the overall graph gets little bit bigger and more easy to understand, right? So that's where we got the maximize option. So let me close this chart style, and when I go to chart axis and title, so here you can say what should be the chart title. So the chart title is score versus training parameters. So again we can choose the font background and font style, font color, all this can be chosen. And in series, so this data being a typical score against training parameter, there is nothing much to change here. It will remain in line only. So this is the line style. So line color can be changed to green, or line color can be changed to whichever color that we prefer. So let me keep it in blue only, and I can minimize this as well. And then I can move to the chart legend. So here the legend is nothing but the title and other information that we have here. So then we can move to vertical axis. So vertical axis, again the minimum and maximum value. The maximum value is default, so we are going to get 5 out of 5 is the maximum value. So the number format comes from the source data. And grid lines. So here, if I don't want a grid line, I get only this kind of a image, difficult to understand. So it's better to have a grid line, right? And I can now minimize this. So friends, as I told, if you are drawing a chart to represent some parameters of one single output, for example, training, successful training is an output. So there are multiple factors contributing to it, and in each of the factor I have to score a good score, then only the overall training can be called a good one. So how much area I still need to cover so that my training can be called as a good one? Then the leftover place of this circle, the leftover place of this circle, the area that need to be covered, that is where I need to focus on. To establish that, the best chart that we can draw is a radar chart. Thanks for your time. Subscribe to our channel for more videos on different graphical representations that you can get in Google Spreadsheet, that is your Google Sheets, and also different formulas, tools and techniques that can be used in Google Sheets. Thanks for your time. See you in another video.